He thought his wealth gave him control over everything, but life had other plans. In the middle of his luxurious mansion, a young millionaire's life began to spin out of control after a private mistake with his maid turned into something much bigger. What he thought would stay hidden forever soon came to light, threatening not only his reputation but also his family's name. The maid, quiet and hardworking, had never expected to be caught in such a storm, but her truth could no longer be denied. As whispers grew inside the house, the millionaire's mother watched silently, carrying a secret of her own that no one imagined. She knew something about the past that had the power to shake her son's world to the core. While he struggled to keep control of his image, she held the key to a revelation that could change everything he thought he knew about himself, his family, and his choices. This is not just a story about wealth and power, it's about betrayal, hidden truths, and how one decision can unravel an entire life. Just when the millionaire thought he could manage the scandal, his mother stepped forward with words that destroyed the ground beneath his feet. What was her shocking secret? Stay tuned. The millionaire had built his empire at a young age, admired by many for his sharp mind and bold decisions. To the outside world, he seemed untouchable, living in a grand estate where every corner reflected his success. But behind the polished image, cracks had begun to show. The maid, who had served his household with loyalty and grace, never sought attention. She worked quietly, often ignored by those who walked the marble halls. Yet, fate had tied her life to his in a way neither could escape. Rumors began to circulate among the staff, whispers that reached the ears of close family friends. The tension inside the mansion grew heavier with each passing day, and the millionaire's behavior became restless, almost desperate. He feared what would happen if the truth spread beyond those walls. The media had a way of turning small secrets into public storms, and he knew his reputation could not withstand such a blow. Meanwhile, his mother watched him carefully. She was a woman of dignity, respected in high society, but her silence carried weight. Behind her composed smile was knowledge she had guarded for decades. A truth so deep and personal that revealing it would not only shock her son but also rewrite the family's entire story. The mansion, once a place of pride, now felt like a cage. The millionaire paced through its grand halls, unable to shake the weight of the whispers. Every glance from the staff felt sharper, as if they knew more than they should. He tried to silence the rumors with money, offering quiet favors and promises. But secrets have a way of slipping through even the tightest grip. The maid found herself torn between fear and courage. She knew the truth could not remain hidden forever, yet she also knew the power he held over her life. Every step she took, every word she spoke, felt dangerous. Still, she carried herself with dignity, knowing her story was more than just a scandal. It was a life growing beyond her control, tied forever to the man who had once believed he could buy silence. Meanwhile, his mother began moving pieces in the background. Old letters were locked away in her drawer, photographs hidden from sight, and family connections varied for years. The secret she held was not just about her son's choices, it was about his very place in the family. Friends of the family noticed her unusual calmness, unaware that she was preparing for a storm far greater than the one her son already faced. Nights grew longer inside the mansion, and every sound seemed to echo with unspoken truths. The millionaire barely slept, haunted by the thought that his carefully built empire could collapse with a single revelation. His business partners began asking questions, sensing his distracted mind and unusual behavior. Deals that once flowed easily now slipped from his hands, and the pressure mounted. The maid, though silent, carried an unshakable strength. She walked through the house with a quiet resolve, knowing that her presence alone stirred unease. Every glance between her and the millionaire told a story that words could not. The staff noticed, and their hushed conversations spread like wildfire. What had once been private was now on the edge of becoming a public scandal. His mother, however, remained a shadow in the background, watching the pieces fall into place. Her secret weighed heavily, but she knew there was no turning back. The time was drawing near when silence would no longer protect anyone. She could see her son unraveling, his pride giving way to desperation, and she prepared herself for the moment when the truth would strike hardest. The mansion stood tense, like a storm cloud ready to burst. Everyone inside felt it, the sense that something irreversible was about to happen. Just when the tension in the mansion seemed unbearable, an unexpected visitor arrived. A man from the past, someone the millionaire barely remembered, appeared at the gates, claiming to hold proof of long-buried family secrets. His sudden presence sent shockwaves through the household, and whispers turned into fear. The staff exchanged nervous glances, sensing that the storm building inside was about to spill far beyond the mansion's walls. The millionaire confronted the man in anger, demanding answers, but what he heard left him shaken. Documents and letters hinted that the life he believed was built on truth and legacy was instead founded on lies. The visitor's words linked directly to the very secret his mother had guarded so closely. For the first time, the millionaire realized he was not just fighting a scandal, he was standing on ground that might not even belong to him. The maid, caught in the middle, listened from the shadows, her heart racing. If this new revelation reached the outside world, her own struggles would no longer be a hidden matter of the household, they would become part of a much larger downfall. His mother, still silent, tightened her grip on the past. She knew the second blow was about to fall, and it would break her son in ways he was not prepared to face. The confrontation could no longer be delayed. In the grand hall, with the maid standing quietly nearby and the visitor waiting with his evidence, the millionaire turned to his mother. His voice trembled with both anger and desperation as he demanded the truth. The room fell silent until she finally spoke, her words cutting through the air like a blade. She revealed that the man at the door was not a stranger at all. He was family. Decades ago, secrets had been buried to protect the family name, and the millionaire's entire identity rested on a lie. He was not the rightful heir to the fortune he had spent his life protecting. The shock left him speechless, his world crumbling before his eyes. His empire, his pride, even the scandal with the maid all seemed small compared to the truth of who he really was. The visitor's documents confirmed everything, and the weight of the revelation was undeniable. But before anyone could process the fallout, the mother delivered one final twist. Looking directly at her son, she revealed that the maid's child carried not shame, but the only true claim to the family's legacy. In a single moment, the power he thought he owned shifted forever, leaving everyone stunned at the destiny now unfolding. The hall remained frozen in silence as the truth sank in. The millionaire, once so sure of his place in the world, now stood broken, stripped of the very identity he had clung to. His empire, his power, and his pride meant nothing compared to the revelation that his life had been built on secrets. The maid, who had lived humbly in the shadows, now carried a child who represented the only true continuation of the family's legacy. For the first time, she was not invisible. Her presence carried weight that could not be denied. The visitor left quietly, his role complete, while the mother lowered her head, burdened by years of silence. Her decision to finally speak had destroyed her son's illusions, but it also opened a path toward truth. The millionaire struggled with anger and grief, yet deep down, he understood that no amount of wealth could rewrite what had been revealed. In the days that followed, the mansion no longer felt the same. The power dynamics had shifted, and the future belonged not to the millionaire but to the innocent life soon to come. The story ended as a reminder that money cannot bury the past forever. That truth, though painful, always finds its way to the surface.